Alright, what is going on, guys? Got a breakdown for UFC Vegas 69. One of the more interesting fights on the card, I would say, which is saying something because this card is brutal. I'm not one to usually hate on the cards, but this one just sucks. This might be the worst card they've had in the ESPN era, but with that said, I do like this matchup. So, welterweight fight between AJ Fletcher and Themba Gorimbo. For Gorimbo, it's going to be his UFC debut. He's going to have a massive reach advantage here, about 9 inches. Um, and he's 2 inches taller. But for Fletcher, he saw a similar matchup like this against Matt Semmelsberger. So I suppose I'll start with Fletcher. I think he's pretty good. He trains with Dustin Poirier, and he kind of has that style somewhat. He's very durable on the feet. He'll sit in the pocket and just eat shots and just keep trading. And he mixes in his wrestling well. He's had a few submission victories before getting to the UFC. But yeah, this guy's technical, and again, the durability I think really stands out. He's taken some big shots and stayed in there, but he's had some bad luck in the UFC, in my opinion. He has to fight Semmelsberger, and again, just a massive reach advantage given up in that one. And he looked good, he really did. I thought he was managing the distance disadvantage very well on the feet, in and out, landing these really heavy low leg kicks. But, he employed the wrestling in the first round, and it was good, borderline 10-8, controlled him for pretty much the entire first round. But then Semmelsberger took him down in the second round and found out that he could hold him there. And then he got him down again in the third round, and that's what ended up deciding the fight. He just wasn't able to get out, and he also looked pretty tired. And then against Angelosa, looked pretty good in that one too. Started out great, won the first round, I would say, but Angelosa made a case for it at the end. Really came on strong, had him hurt. But again, the durability really shows. He just stays in there, keeps throwing punches even if he's getting hit, and he eventually mounts a rally. And look, I thought he would have had him out of there with a number of different refs. Mike Beltran kind of gives these guys a longer leash than anybody else, it seems like. And he did get a long leash in that one, kind of emptied the gas tank, and then it was kind of the same deal. He was tired. Losa just holds him down for much of the third round and just completely out of gas, unable to get out of there. But again, I think if he had just about any other ref, I think that fight ends and he gets a really highlight reel comeback knockout. Let me see if that got fight of the night, because it felt like a fight of the night. It didn't. I don't know what other fights there were, but sometimes it seems like these guys on the up and coming side of the roster get fucked on the bonuses, because that was a really good fight. But anyway, Themba Gorimbo, dangerous. Fought most of his fights with EFC in South Africa. And, another rangy striker, and not the most technical, but when he lands his 1-2s, just generates a lot of power because of all that reach. And he's definitely hurt guys with that. But, this guy kind of reminds me of Randy Brown, where he just has a really active guard with these long limbs. And, he doesn't always get the submissions, but he's always threatening. And, he has locked up some really nasty submissions with EFC. He's got 2 standing guillotines. So it just shows how quickly he can work it in there, and he's got a tight grip. Having a tight guillotine is just one of those things. It's like you have it or you don't, and this guy definitely has it. And he pulled off a really nice triangle choke too against Lyle Karam. He was an undefeated fighter, 6-0. Karam took him down, and just immediately got caught in that triangle. So yeah, very very active guard for Gorimbo. I think that Fletcher is going to have the advantage technically on the feet. I see him winning the exchanges. But, Gorimbo is liable to hit him with one of those power 1-2s. His kicks are where I think he gets countered. He got dropped in a couple of these fights when he got countered off of a kick. But again, it's just once you get to the ground with him, he's kind of dangerous. So it does negate that a little bit. But yeah, I do see AJ Fletcher winning the exchanges on the feet. It's just, can he put him away, And so we look at the odds here, and they're not out on DraftKings. And, they're a little wide, I think it's... look, I like AJ Fletcher. I think he's good. And I think he's just getting more bad luck here because this is a dangerous opponent for sure. And I gotta say, at minus 225 for Fletcher, my initial lean was Fletcher in this one. But, it's not necessarily just a value thing. But I am going to go with Gorimbo. And it's just, we've seen what happened when he was against Matthew Semmelsberger, who's not even a high-level wrestler. He's just so much bigger and was able to hold him down and was able to take his gas tank away. I could see Gorimbo doing the same thing. It's all going to come down to, can Fletcher put him away in the first round for me, because I think that the longer the fight goes, unless Fletcher's gas tank has had some improvements. And look, that's the other thing. Like, I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that he has a bad gas tank. He's been in some grueling fights, but he has been out of gas in the third round in a couple of these fights. He was used to finishing a lot of these fights early. So, on one hand, it's good that he's gotten that experience, but at minus 235. We've already seen what happens when he's given up this much size against Semmelsberger. Gorimbo has a more active guard. I could see him getting the submission. He's definitely going to get the submission if Fletcher looks as tired as he did in the third round and those other fights. So, yeah, at this price, I'm going to go with Themba Gorimbo. I'm going to keep my eyes on that. But, again, it's not necessarily just value. I think that we've already seen that Fletcher can be beat this way. It's more bad luck for him, I think. It's just another tough opponent, giving up a lot of size. So give me the underdog in that case. But thanks for watching, guys. Share, subscribe, and take it easy.